Welcome to my journey into another weigh-in video. We are late today because it has been a day. I'm going to tell you all I got to tell you in a minute, but we'll talk about this weigh-in first. So last week was a game, right? Wasn't last week the game? Well, anyway, I got on there yesterday morning and I lost. I done forgot. It was either 3.2 or 3.6. I weighed 205.6 is what I weighed. And I do know my total is 171.5. So, yes. I had coffee all day except this morning. Okay, so let me tell you the most beautifulest news first. It's wonderful news, but it's got its... So I'm a new Momo. I have a new grandson, and his name is Wesley. Here's the thing. He wasn't due for 6 more weeks. Well, hold on. Holly has had some complications with her blood pressure. She went to the doctor Tuesday, and she had gained 15 pounds from the week before. I told her, I said, that's not baby weight, that's fluid. She's had a headache, won't go away. Her blood pressure was not real high, but they didn't really do much. The next day, she told RJ, she said, I don't feel right, something ain't right. She said, take me to the hospital. So she went, and guess what? They kept her. When she got to the hospital, her blood pressure was 235 over 121, I think is what it was. 237, something like that. Yeah. So immediately they put her up in labor and delivery because she went in the emergency room, and then they sent her up there where, So the initial thing was, we're going to watch her for 2 days, give her this medicine, we're going to watch her for 2 days, and then we'll see from there. Then that went from, no, we're going to watch her 5 days, and then we're going to induce on Monday. Well, then it went from, no, we're going to transfer her to Charlotte because there's a possibility she's going to have a problem with anesthesia because her sister has a genetic disorder that affects anesthesia, and Holly's never had anesthesia, so she didn't know if she has it. So they're like, well, we're going to transfer her to Charlotte because they have more anesthesiologists on hand. So at like 11:30, not last night? Was it last night? Yeah. They transferred her to Charlotte. Then this morning, RJ called me, and he said, they're getting ready to do a C-section at 7:30. And he called me at 6. I said, okay. I said, well, I got a doctor's appointment. I said, but I'll get David and we'll be over there as soon as. I said, I can't miss this appointment. And I knew with a C-section, it takes some time. And, getting the baby ready, because they already told them if they induce or do a C-section, the baby would be in NICU, So they knew that was coming. Well, they had to give her the things they needed to give her to help the baby, the lungs and all this and that. And then it wasn't long, and he said, well, scratch that. They've tried a new blood pressure medicine, and they want to try to keep the baby in the belly as long as possible. Wasn't no time at all. He said, well, no, now they're scheduling her for a C-section. And they're trying to decide now, do they want to do it in labor and delivery, or do they want to do it in the main OR? Ended up, they did it in the main OR. So she had an emergency C-section today, and I can't even remember what time it was he was born. We were sitting in the waiting room for the surgery, and RJ came walking in. I'm like, oh, I said, is he here? He said, he's here. Get this. He's 6 weeks premature, but he still weighed 5 pounds and 11 ounces. The nurse, RJ said when they were in there, they were shocked at his size because they told him when you have preeclampsia, that will stunt the baby's growth most times. And they said they could not believe his size when he was born. When I got to go back and see him, I couldn't see Holly today. They told us only RJ would be able to see her today. But they did let us go see the baby. Oh my gosh. Well, first I started crying as soon as I saw him because he's hooked up to everything, his CPAP and everything is something, there's something on everywhere. And so I got that under control. I was just watching him. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And you know what? RJ said he had red hair. Yes, well, RJ's got red in his beard. Not in his hair, in his beard. But his daddy had a reddish tint to his hair and his beard. And Holly has an uncle who's redheaded. So he might have got it from both sides. He might come out and be a little ginger. Who knows? Who knows? But he had his little toboggan on so you couldn't see it. That's what David said. He said, I was wanting to see that little head of red hair. I said, me too. But the nurse told me when we were in NICU, they let RJ go and then just 2 at a time could go. So each one of us went back and RJ stayed there. And she said, yeah, it was the same one that was in the delivery room. She said, yeah, she said, we were saying if he went to term, he would have been a biggin. She said, he's in the 86th percentile now. She said, when they get to the 90, as far as being his size, gestational-wise, where he was in his term. She said, if they get to 90%, we're like, oh, that's a big baby. She said, he was 86. She said, if he'd have gone full term, she said, he'd have been a big boy. So what they were going to do was, he's breathing on his own, but there's just a little part that he's not. There's just a little part that they got to help him with because his lungs just weren't fully formed, weren't just fully strong enough to completely function on their own. So after we all left, they were going to give him some medicine, shoot it down in his lungs. And she said, sometimes one time won't work. And she said, sometimes we have to do it again. She said, but everything else on him is good. His heart rate's good. Everything on, he's perfect. No matter what's wrong, he's perfect. They've just got to strengthen up his lungs. That's what they got to do. She said, they tell people, plan on him being here till if he had gone full term, but we aim to get him out sooner. So the most he would be, as long as everything's going fine, he was due December the 8th. So he could, in essence, be there till December the 8th, unless he's all ready to go before then. She said that's what they aim for. But they like to tell people so they're not shocked or, worried when it goes longer in case they underestimated what it might take. But I'm a mama again. I got 3 little boys now. RJ said, I guess girls wasn't into cards. I said, I guess they just wasn't. So I got my boys. I'm going to have to add a little owl face onto my thing. Now I've got to make my appointment to get my tattoo for Wesley's name and his birthday because I got Sebastian's, I've got Jacob's, and I got to have Wesley's. And I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. I'm not really sure, but there's a witch's broom that I saw online that I want. I think I'm going to do it at the same time. I'm going to get it put there, and I'm not sure where I'll put Wesley, and I'm not sure what I want it to look like, but I'm getting it. So there you go. Well, that is the first major good news of the day. Get this good news. Okay, so I was wearing 22 pants. That's when I went up to Jones, I was wearing 22s, and they were still a little bit big. Well, when I come home, I say, well, I better get some 20s because these 22s they're too big. So I got the 20s, and I just put a pair on. I put them on, tried to wash them, tried them on. They're like, okay, they fit. But I put a pair on yesterday. Holly and Jacob come on Thursdays, and she's been wanting to go to Nazareth. She hadn't been there, so we went to Salisbury and went to Nazareth and Habitat. Well, I put on one of my Old Navy's 20s. Do you know how big those things on me were? I told Holly, I said, I can't wear these. These are huge. So I took them off when I got home to put them in my donate. And I said, well, I had one other pair. I had the brown pair. They fit nicely. I wore them to the baby shower. They fit me nicely. They're not too tight, but they're not completely baggy. And the legs are more tapered, so they fit nicer in the legs too. Well, I had one other pair of jeans in the closet. I said, well, let me just try them on and see. Too big. So that was after I got home. The ones I was wearing thrifting, I told Holly, I said, you know what? Let me buy an 18 just to take home and try to see if I need it. Because I said, when I went from 22 to 20, I was thinking, no way I can wear 18s. There's no way. And I said, but I'm going to buy a pair. So I found a pair of Gloria Vanderbilt, which I like her jeans. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel. Well, I brought them home, tried them on. They were a little big around, I'm like, okay, well, I washed them up because I knew I needed to wear them today. And y'all, I don't even have to snap them or button them or anything. I just pull them on and off, just like a pair of sweatpants. They're huge. So I'm going to go now and find some 16s. Y'all, can it be true? Can it be true? Can I really be in a 16? Because I'm telling you, them 18s are getting donated. I'm not wearing them out in public. They're baggy. They look terrible. They just look terrible. There's this much room left in the butt. The front around my legs just bunchy and baggy. The waist sticking out that much. I ain't wearing them. Dave says, well, you need to go to a regular store and get regular jeans. I said, well, a thrift store is regular jeans. I said, you get all the different brands. I said, I'm not paying full price for jeans if I'm going to keep dropping sizes like this. So I'm going to hit the thrift stores up and find me some 16s. Or 18s that are made smaller. I don't know, but I'm going to try them on. I'm not going to buy them and bring them home. I'm going to try them on like I did when I went into the 20s, because the 22. No, the 20s. I tried something. Oh, I tried the 20s on. Yeah, and those are the ones that did fit. And then they're too big. 18s, too big. So that is my second excellent news. We was at the thrift store yesterday. You know what? That Jacob, Holly says he's like that. Said he won't like, some kids want you to get him something just for the fact to get him something. He ain't like that. If he don't see nothing he wants, he don't want it. He don't want nothing just to say he got something. He don't. And he didn't. I said, well, let's look at the toys. He didn't see nothing stroke his fancy. But he wanted to look at the keychains because he's addicted to keychains. This kid, he collects keychains. He started when he was young. He's got a ball of keychains of stuff that he has stuck together. I kid you not, it's that big. Now he's got some that he's got one for his Nissan, one for his Honda, one for this, one for that. And he puts different keychains on things. And he's got some keys. I gave him some keys, you know. So he found a keychain. We were looking, and they had a little twirly thing. I said, I knew we'd find some keychains here. And he was in the buggy with me, and Holly was off looking, and he said, there's too many to choose from. That's what he said. So he kept looking, and he pulled them off and look at them and check them out. And he found one that's about this long. I told him today, I said, tell Papa about that one, that really long one. He goes, the one with the jewelry on it? I said, yeah, that's the one. Well, it was like twine, kind of, but they were like jewels, you know, weaved in and out of it, you know. He liked that one, so he got that one. And then at Habitat, he found one that was really, it's just the wristlet part of a wallet, you know, the wristlets that have the little things you can put over your, well, he saw that, had to have it. So he found him 2 keychains, and he went straight. When he got that, honey, he didn't want to come back to my house. He told Mommy, he said, I want to go to our house. And Holly started laughing. She said, he's going to go home putting them keychains on. And that's exactly what he wanted to do. He could not get home fast enough to put them new keychains on his things that he already had at home. He couldn't wait. So that's all he got yesterday. That's all he wanted. I found some little old jelly glasses for free in the free thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but they were free and I had to have them. Holly found her a bowl and a plate, a pocketbook, something else. This Habitat, you know. And then inside, I found, what did I buy there? Did I buy anything at Habitat? Oh, I did. I found 4 placemats. Can you believe it? 4 matching placemats. They'll be for the spring. But when I'm sitting on 1, 2. When I was at Nazareth, they had 4 of these. So I have already got rid of my red ones. Are almost exactly alike, but they're red, and I've had them ever since we've had this porch. And we've had this porch, what, 6 years? Something like that, 7 years, I don't know, and I've had them ever since. Guess where they went? Right there in the garbage, and guess where they're at now? In the landfill somewhere. I told David, I said, you can only look at something for so long. And they've been out here, they had pollen, I've wiped them off, washed them off, this and that, but they're and they look good, but I didn't donate them. I just figured if they had pollen stains or what, I wasn't going to send them to the donation. So I bagged them suckers up and out they went. So I'm going to leave these out here until Christmas and then put my Christmas things that I bought over top of these. So I did find those. And you know what? I didn't know how much they were. So we got up front and I had found something else. I can't remember what I found. And Holly found a little thing. Jacob likes to decorate his room. She found a little camper thing, and he likes camping. So I bought him that. So she found that, and he said, yeah, he liked that because he does. He likes to put decorations in his room. He's all about decorating. I tell you, he's a trip. Well, I can't remember what I had. I had his keychain. I had that. I had my pillows and maybe something else. I'm not sure. I said, honey, I don't even know how much these pillows are. She said, I'll give them all to you for $1. I got these pills I just showed you for $0.25 a piece. Yes, yes, yes. You can't beat that with a stick. I don't care who you are. So that's what we did yesterday. And now this morning, I went to the back doctor because you hear that plane? And I'm sitting on this side because the sun comes in over there as the sun starts heading that way. It shines in right on my chair, and I wouldn't be able to see you, so I'm sitting up here on this side. That's why it looks funny behind us. And that probably needs to be washed, but I don't care. I ain't got no airs to put on for y'all. Y'all ought to know that by now. So I had the back doctor because that last nerve block I had didn't take. And so I needed to get that follow-up with him. And the ablation I had on my lower back it's woke up. It's done. It lasted about 3 months. We looked on there to see when it was. It lasted about, it happened between when I saw him about a month ago to now. So it lasted close to 3 months. I mean, it should last up to 6. So he had me get x-rays on my middle back because he wanted to make sure what he was looking at, make sure nothing else had happened. He said, well, there's no fractures. It's just a lot of that arthritis. And so he said, now tell me again where it hurts. And he was feeling the vertebrae, and I was telling him where it goes and everything. He said, now show me the exact spot where it hurts the most. And I showed him. He said, I just want to make sure I put the block in the right place. And so he was doing all that, and I sat back down. He said, now what's the most relief you had when you got that block? I said, well, when I first got it, it was a zero pain. I said, I had immediate relief. He said, well, that tells me what I said, just within a couple hours or so, it started wearing off. He said, well, that tells me what I need to know. I said, well, what did you need to know? He said that I put it in the right place. He said, let's try it again and see what will happen the second time. But first, before we do, that's in 3 weeks because you have to wait 3 weeks in between injections. What we're doing next week is my lower back. He said, that is from your stenosis. He said, you will end up needing surgery on that. I said, well, the first doctor I seen that referred me to you said I wouldn't because the discs are fused. He said, no, this is for your stenosis. He said, where it's pinched the nerve. He said, you will end up having surgery for that. But we're going to try in the meantime. He's going to give me an epidural. And he's going to shoot some medicine in there, which is like steroids, which he said they don't let them just do steroid injections. But I guess this is different. But it's an epidural shooting some medicine in there. So I'm not looking forward to that because I know that's going to hurt. I know it is because he told me the last time why the block up here didn't hurt as bad as that down there because he has to go real deep down there. And with the nerves already pinching, they're tender as I'll get out. And the pain is shooting down my butt. And then my left leg is hurting. He said, that's your stenosis. He said, that tells me right there. That's exactly what it is. So next Wednesday, and I have to have a driver for that. She says, because sometimes your legs can kind of not work from the epidural, I've never had one of those. Well, I had one whenever I had Holly that didn't take. So I don't know how different this is from that. I don't know. Holly, RJ said she had 2 things. She had the epidural and she had some kind of spine injection because they said if they did that, because they were afraid it was going to take longer with her, and they said when that runs out, you're just up the creek without a paddle. So they wanted to back her up with an epidural. And the only thing, well, not the only thing, but the main thing she missed was having that skin to skin. As soon as your baby's born, they lay it up there on your chest, and you get to feel that skin on your skin. She missed that, so she was sad she missed that. I hate that for her because she can't get her arms on that baby because he's in that incubator, so she can't get a hold of her baby like a typical labor would go. And I couldn't get a hold of him, and that killed me. So I know it's going to kill her, and I know it's killing RJ. So, but he's here, he's healthy. We just got to get his lungs going, and he's going to be good to go. But, so that's where the back is. And then 3 weeks from then, I'll get the block on the middle back. And then we'll see what these do. And if these don't do, I guess we'll go from there to see what can be done after that. I don't know. But David's not working tonight because he was gonna he saved one personal day to take when the baby was born, because he said he was going to be there when the baby was born. He was saving that personal day. Well, his dispatcher messed him up and put him down for a personal day when he didn't want it. He was not going to take it. Well, she does this to him all the time. She messed him up on a vacation day. It's just, please don't get me started. He said, well, when it happens, he said, I'll just have to take the day off and just not get paid. Because I think he's used up all his vacation because the garden things and some other things that come up. I think he's used up all his vacation. I think. I could be wrong. Maybe he didn't, but you don't take vacation days last minute. You schedule those. They frown upon you just calling and saying, give me a vacation day. That's what you have personal days for. So he was just going to take it without getting paid since she messed him up. So I said, well, maybe you won't have to tonight, depending on how long we're over there. Well, we was over there all day, and there's no way he can work tonight because he's not had any sleep, so he's off tonight. We had stopped in the, because Holly and Jacob are there too, and I said, well, let's get something to eat. Holly said she was getting hungry. I said, well, let's stop and eat something in the cafeteria before we go home. So we did that. We got us a cheeseburger. I couldn't eat all mine, but we were coming home, and I told David, I said, doggone it. I said, you don't have to work tonight. We could have gone down to the grill. They have a buffet. Super food. Oh my gosh. They have their seafood buffet on Friday nights. I said, if we hadn't already eat, of course we ate early, so, but if you don't get there when they open, you wait in line, and there's a chance you won't get seated because it's a small place. The food is outrageously delicious, and they cater. Oh yeah, RJ discovered it for us, and so we kind of missed out on that one because he's never home on Fridays for us to do anything because he works Friday nights, you know. But I'm trying to think. I think that's about all that's going on. So I told him, I said, all right now, I said, I might not get to sit here and watch Criminal Minds like I do when you're in the bed. I said, but 8 o'clock, TV's mine because I watch Daily Sketch. He said, okay. That's my Friday night routine, Criminal Minds until 8, and then Daily Sketch comes on. I got to see it because it's the new ones. I like that show. I do. I don't like girly shows. I just don't. I don't like Hallmark movies. Please. You ever want to torture me? Put a Hallmark movie on and put toothpicks in my eyes. Torture. Can't do it. I just can't do it. And I wish I could. I just wish I could because it seems like it'd be just cozy. Just curling up, watching a nice little Hallmark movie. Now, we used to watch Lifetime movies way back when we had Lifetime channel because they're like murder mysteries and stuff like that. Not this lovey-dovey, kissy-wissy stuff. I don't like it at all. It makes me just... I'm not that girl. I like stuff that ain't girly. I don't know that there's anything I watch that is girly. Like Longmire. That was like one of my favorite shows ever. Longmire. One of my favorite movies ever. Days of Thunder. Jaws. I mean, Goodfellas. That's the kind of Criminal Minds. We know how I feel about that. That's the kind of stuff I like. So, anyway, I don't think there was nothing else I was going to tell you. I got to go in here and get this thing uploaded for you because it's coming in kind of late. But, yeah, I'm a Momo. I can't wait to get my hands on him. I just can't wait to get my hands on him. I just can't wait. So, I don't know if they'll be here for the Halloween party or not, because I don't know when. She's going to be in the hospital 4 or 5 days, I think they said. And so I don't know if, excuse me, they will take time to come to the party, eat, and then go over there, come and eat, go back. They gave them parking passes. They can come and go any time of day or night they want to see that baby. Anytime they want. Not have to pay for parking. There's no limit. There's just 2 people at a time that can go, but they can go anytime they want. So I don't know if they'll be able to make it to the Halloween party or not. But we're as far as I know, we're still going to have it. I got to sit down and I got a basic menu, but I got to sit down and get the menu, the grocery list, what me and Holly are going to do Saturday night, what we're going to do Sunday morning, what I'm going to do while she's at church, you know. So anyway, I got to do that this weekend, and tomorrow I'll be prepping because I'm doing breakfast prep and for the freezer. So, but you'll see that tomorrow on my Menu Planning Grocery Haul. I actually got it uploaded and scheduled, if you can believe it. I forgot yesterday. I was sitting there. I'm like, did I have a video go up today? That's why I come up so late, because I had forgot to. I filmed it Tuesday, and here it was Thursday. I forgot to even edit the thing. That's why I come up so late. And I thought, well, while I'm back there, I'll go ahead and do my Menu Planning Grocery Haul. So I got that done. So let me go on in there and. You know what I think I'm going to do? Instead of sitting there and listening to whatever I just said, I didn't have to cough nothing out, no traffic. I didn't have to take nothing out. If I misspoke on anything, I just misspoke on it. I think I'm just going to cut the front, cut the back, slam it together, and throw it up. So if you heard me say anything stupid, I didn't catch it. So that's it. And I will see you tomorrow for Menu Planning Grocery Haul.